Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. So here we are again for some more Tarot Tuesday twists. So how have you been this week? Are you well? Just moving my screen a little bit there. Have you had a good week? Yeah? Good. Wonderful. I'm hoping that you're all enjoying yourselves. Hi Carla, how are you? Nice to see you. Hello. So we are still going through the minor card, and the minor card that we did the other day was the sword family yet again. And with the sword family, we are now looking at how to read that Eight of Swords with a major arcana card, and showing you the difference that when you fuse a major arcana card and a minor arcana card, you will be able to understand what's really going on a lot better than if you were just using the whole deck and pulling out one card for every position. If you use two in every position, this is what tonight is all about. That's what we do on Tuesdays. So you are welcome to join us if you would like, and come on as a guest and ask questions or share something with us or have a bit of help. You may be giving us some great tips. We are more than happy to actually have you along. So I am going to show you the link. There you go. So here we are with the Eight of Swords, and the Eight of Swords is a card that people go, gosh, that looks terrible. Don't forget, swords is how we are thinking, so it's not as bad as it looks. You know, it might be bad in your mind, but is there any reality to it? Based on conversations with others, possibly, but you know something, this is a card, as I mentioned the other day, that if you had taken action when we got the Two of Swords, which is about indecision, indecisiveness, and not knowing what to do and which way to turn, then we could have avoided the Eight of Swords, because the Eight of Swords links to that. So on the screen for you, I've got the Chariot and the Eight of Swords. And so this pair is talking about, let me just kind of say, let's say that the question is, they're asking for a general reading tonight. That's what we're going to do tonight. They're saying, can you give me a general reading? So we have a look, and the first two cards that come out are now. So we've changed it a little bit to normal, and just thought I would actually try and help you with maybe a general reading and the first two cards that's coming out. So you take your first major arcana card and you get the Chariot. You take your first minor arcana card and you get the Eight of Swords, and you go, right, okay, we're off. Now I would normally put out a big old spread, and I'll be showing that a little bit later on tonight. I've got a little diagram to show you how many cards I actually use, and how as a professional reader it stood me in good stead to be able to answer any questions that I am happy to answer. And what I mean by that is, there are things that I will not answer, health questions, pregnancy, and maybe legal situations. So they're the two things that I would actually say, no way am I going to answer those questions. Hi, hello, look who we've got with us. How are you doing? Hello, how are you? Good to see you again. Wonderful. So, Maud Ali's here. So we're going to say that this is a general reading, and we're going to say first two cards that have come up as the Chariot and the Eight of Swords. Major Arcana is just telling you what's happening, okay? The Minor Arcana is telling you how they're dealing with what's happening. So Chariot is linked to the home, linked to Cancerians, linked to the dispatch of things that go on the road. So there's some restrictions mentally. This person is actually feeling all tied up in knots, bound, worried, not sure what to do, so they're doing nothing. And so their thinking is my domestic life, or how am I going to get from A to B? And and I mean that, it's lonely here when people don't actually talk to me. So when your comments come on, it absolutely makes my day. And yeah, I know people are watching, but it's really nice to actually have a chat and participation. Love it. So I'm going to move my chair sideways as I always do, and that's because my desk has got, it's 2 levels, you know. There's the top of the desk, and then there's an extra bit. So, you know, although I'm little, you can't get your legs underneath the table. Hi, Carla. How are you? Hope it's all going well. So, can we see that how we get domestic life, because it's the 4th house. So if you know something about astrology, it's really going to help you. And look at the obvious. A chariot. A chariot is a vehicle that's on the road, a very old vehicle, but you know what? Chariot is old. So sometimes your deck can actually cause you to struggle. And I've mentioned in the past in tutorials that it's good to look at the deck that you're using to see if it's working for you. But just remember that tarot cards, although they have old-fashioned images, it's really something where you're able to actually say, right, what's a chariot in modern day terms? What's the 8 of Swords? Swords are communication, or the way we are thinking. So this person is thinking in a restricted way. That's the background effects that's going on. The subject of which their thoughts are restricted is in the major arcana card. What's it about? It's about the Chariot. So you might say, okay, so it's about a car, could be. Or it could be about, there's not just cars that go on the road, is there? It could be about something to do with any form of transport and journeys, and maybe something isn't local enough for them and it's stressing them out and they're not doing anything about it. You know, maybe this is somebody, you know, and we don't know, because that's the difficulty with the general, isn't it? You would need a lot of cards out to see the whole story. But I know that a lot of you put out a couple of cards at a time. There's no way I can do a big old spread for you and show you that. I could, but we'd be here all night and we'd be doing a reading. And what we want to do is examples of what the 8 of Swords is telling us. So 8 of Swords, this person is feeling all trussed up, tied up in knots, in a place of bondage in their mind. They don't want to move. You know, it's not fear. I suppose it is, but not terror. It's fear in their mind of something. So it could be about journeys. It could be about a car, you know, who knows, or a bus, or a journey that they take. More likely to be the fact that the Chariot is tied in, and this is where it probably is. So I would go for this first and say, this is to do with domestic matters, what's going on at home. You're feeling very restricted. And they might turn around and say to you, well, I'm really not coping at home. I'm finding everything that's getting on top of me. And, you know, I'm working from home. There you go, possibly. Or I've gone back to work and I prefer to work at home, and the journey is actually really stressing me out, and I don't want to actually approach and say, could I continue to do some remote work from home? You've got something here. This is something tied with journeys. This is something also tied with Cancer, because the Chariot is Cancer. So it could be a Cancerian. They might be a Cancerian. And what you've got to look at is your other cards. Now, if this has come up in the now position in a general reading, just going with that, yeah, there are some possibilities. How would you know for sure? Well, the next cards would show you in the spread, the obstacle, and then in the next pair, you would get the foundations, what it's all about, what it's currently based on. So we'll do an example of the foundations perhaps another time. Whether I do it tonight, I don't know. So I don't want to confuse you too much. So what we're saying is general reading, please. First 2 cards out. This is what we've got. Thank you so much for the thumbs up. Absolutely love that. I know that it doesn't really show up on the screen. I don't even know how to make it. Never actually thought about that. If anyone's got a question, please type out. Okay, so maybe there's a Cancerian around them, maybe they're stressed out by that, maybe their domestic life. It's nothing that's telling us it's a relationship. They're stressed out in the mind. It is linked to the emotions because the Chariot is Cancer, and that's an emotional sign because of the element of water. Thank you for the actual thumbs up. You are being really good tonight. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love that. That's so lovely. Just having a very quick look at where people are coming in. We've got a lot of people on YouTube there. That's fantastic. Hi there on Twitch. We can see somebody watching. I don't know who you are. I don't go into the channel. I can just see on my board where the actual feeds are coming in, and a couple on my page, which is lovely. Thank you. Very nice to have you along. So look, tell me, what questions would you like me to sort of cover? I thought a general would be quite a good one. We've been doing work because I wanted to stay away from, everyone does relationships, and you can kind of see so many different examples, and I'm happy to do a relationship example for you if that's what you want, but I'm not presuming that. I want to actually do things that are more difficult, where you go, how on earth do I answer that? They've asked for a general. How do I answer it about money? How do I answer it about work? 2 cards. The biggest thing I can say to you is use pairs, but use plenty of different positions. Base it on a Celtic cross. Don't just put down your card and read that and think you're going to get it from there and think, oh, they expect me to just get it all from one card. You can't. It's so nuanced. There's so many multiple meanings. You would be doing yourself a disservice and them to just be doing that. If you can actually put all of the pieces of the puzzle together in the position of the spread, you're going to know what you're doing. They're going to love it. And if they love it, you're going to actually feel that you're confident and that you are capable of giving them a reading, and you're not getting, you will take accountability for that, and you'll be happy with that. All right? So let's do another example. Sorry about the dogs barking. Hopefully they'll stop in a moment. It's incredibly hot out here at the moment. We are hitting, I popped out today and the current was 42 degrees Celsius, and I think at the moment it's currently 30 degrees Celsius. So I was clever, came home, put the aircon on in my studio and left it on and switched it off, because I'm sure the buzzing of the aircon will probably affect the quality of sound. When it's August and it's 50 all the time, you might have to put up with it. So, and I'd rely on you to tell me, if it's not right, it's not right. No, there's no need for that. Here's a good one. The High Priestess and the 8 of Swords. Let's bring it back to a general reading. Oh, can you give me a general? Right. 8 of Swords. Mentally, they're stressed out, aren't they? There's something on their mind and they are not in a great place. Again, thank you very much for the thumbs up. I really do love it. I'm sorry, I don't know how to show that at all. It just comes up in my comments and reactions. Probably comes up on YouTube when you watch the live. So 8 of Swords, they are stressed out mentally about something, or some form of communication has deeply restricted our person in their thoughts and maybe in their conversations with themselves. So the next part of this is the Major Arcana card, the High Priestess. And the High Priestess is a card of secrets being revealed. And perhaps our person is feeling that there is something that they are going to actually have revealed to them. And so they don't know what that is. Okay, more telling if I ask you about it. Oh, right, yeah, well, okay, we'll have a look at that, Mortelli. I'll bring that up in the screen in a moment, okay? So I'll just kind of get to the point on this one. So the High Priestess is something is going to be revealed to them, and they don't know what it is. So they're worried about the outcome of this, but they probably know what it is deep down. Why do I say that? High Priestess. Although something is going to be revealed to us, this person has a hunch, a gut feeling, or they are somebody that's very perceptive, they're very psychic, they're very intuitive, call it what you like. And also never keep saying to your client, oh, I can see you're very psychic. That is something that I've heard readers over the years start with on every reading. And if somebody's going for readings with different people and that's the first thing they say, if you're going to say it somewhere later on maybe, or be sure, okay? Because 9 times out of 10 people actually say no. And you know, I thought you were the psychic, not me. And it feels a little bit like a script, so just be guarded with that, all right? And yes, you do say it, but bring it in a certain way. Maybe you could say, you know what, I think deep down you actually know that this is a struggle, and you probably know what this is about. And you might say, oh gosh, yes, I'm really struggling, you know, with X, Y, and Z at work. I really feel that with a last to know what's going on, and I'm feeling a little bit like I really don't know what's going to happen. Really what that 8 of Swords, where I was reminding you, it is something that's built up from the 2 of Swords. And the 2 of Swords is probably, if they were saying that, in my experience, it comes up that this person had the opportunity to ask and didn't feel that they could. Oh, I don't want to, or I'm not sure if I should ask that. Clarity. They've got no clarity. They've got hunches. But obviously, you know, sometimes our intuitive side can kick in and make us actually look at much worse scenarios than they actually are, right? But also, it's important that we actually recognize that a lot of people do have intuition about something that's happening, and then they go, I don't know if it's my intuition or my overthinking. In this case, it's both. Overthinking, 8 of Swords, but not doing anything, restricted. I'm thinking, but it goes round and round. And I don't do anything. I don't say anything, I don't ask anything, I don't find out the answers. That is what the 8 of Swords is. Not finding things out. Remember that swords are intellect. So how do we actually become intelligent? We find out. This person hasn't. And they're sitting there. And, you know, High Priestess, gut feelings. So many psychics come to me for readings and go, I need you to look at it. I read the cards myself. I'm a psychic. I'm a professional. I need your impartial advice, because you know what it's like when you read for yourself. And I always say, okay, let's look at it. Actually, I read for myself because I'm very impartial, and the method I use, my emotions don't come into it because it's a system. So if you're pulling one card, oh, it could be this, it could be that, and then you put it in any position, you could still say, well, it might be them. I don't know if it's me or them. You see, if you are using a pair, you're finding out the background effects in the minor arcana, and you're finding out what it's about in the major arcana. What's the subject? Their intuition. Their intuition is stressing them out, and they've done nothing about it. That's what this pair means. Right, let's bring this question on. If I ask you about any new friendships coming in soon, and you, the right card. Okay, so you know that I'm not doing readings. I know you know that because you watch us. But if you're saying, what if somebody was asking, are you? I think that's lovely. Are there some new friendships coming in for me? So let's let's look at, bear with me, want to be somewhere here, I think. That's the one I was looking for. Don't you notice the one in front? I'll go back over that in a minute, and maybe with the same question and show you how different it could be. So Mortelli is saying, if I was to ask about new friendships coming in, what would be the right card? Well, there's a lot, okay? When I say that, there's several, you know, and there's 78 in the deck, but the ones that I would sort of say to you, you'd be looking for are court cards, all right? Now, I can't show you, got the dog's teeth in there. I cannot show you a court card tonight because my PDF is geared up with only the minor card being the Eight of Swords. So I can't show you an example of that. So court cards, and there's 16 of them, isn't there? So you've got 4 pages, 4 knights, 4 queens, 4 kings. They're people. They're also an aspect of the person having the reading. All right, so potential friends or enemies, or they're somebody, okay? So they're characters. So that's one part. But because we're not going to be bringing in the court cards, and you've also got things like friendships, as in 6 of Cups, 10 of Cups, 9 of Cups, 3 of Cups, you know, we'll be doing those. 3 of Cups, gatherings with people, friends, celebration. 10 of Cups, family, friends and family, family, friends, you see, it's all there. All your court cards, of course, and 6 of Cups, 2 children. They're just some of the examples, all right? So you're now saying, if someone is asking about a positive question like love and romance, yeah, the right cards are, it's hard to answer as in what's specific, but you'd be looking maybe for the lovers, and you would definitely be, if you've got the lovers and you've got a court card, yeah, that's probably friendships, potential relationships. It's also the position. And tonight I'm going to actually show you an example of what my spread looks like, but I'm not going to teach you the positions because that's what the courses are there for. And this is just about pairs, otherwise we are going down rabbit holes. And the whole reason I did the courses is because you asked me for them. How can I become more professional? What is it that a client's looking for? What is the potential business that employs psychics and tarot readers looking for me to give a reading? And that's what these courses do. So in answer to the PDF that I've got, I'm using the 8 of Swords and only changing the major arcana. So you would be more inclined to find that the major arcana would be somebody new, the Fool, somebody from the past, the Hermit, and the Lovers, because that's about 2 people. Okay, so they're just some examples. This card, which is why I looked through the PDF to show you the example, the Star card. The Star card is the biggest area for friendships and the potential maybe of that friendship growing into something else. So the reason I answered it with that second part of the sentence is you said if somebody's asking a positive question like love and romance. So love and romance, we'd be looking for the lovers, and then we'd be looking for a court card with the lovers. And then if we're looking to say, is it something new? We're looking for the Fool, and we're looking for a court card. The Fool, someone new. Something new, I beg your pardon. The court card, who? Yeah. Oh, I love it. You're starting to ask questions. Good morning. Good morning. It's evening for me, but I presume. Oh, Crystal Pickett. Yes, you can ask a question, but the question must be about learning, not, having a reading. I just hope that makes sense. So if not, you'll be disappointed. So you're very welcome. I hope you know that this is about tuition. So please feel free. I'm very happy. So while we wait for Crystal Pickett to ask a question about tarot tuition, let's have a look at why I'm picking the Star card. The Star card is connected to Aquarius. This is why if you go on the courses, you will learn the astrological and the planetary associations with all the major cards and what's associated with the minor cards. Now each time I show you, I've got a little keynote for you tonight to show you the actual key points of what I'm talking about, so you can have a look at that. And the Star card is linked to Aquarius. Aquarius is about our friendships, okay? It's our community, that's why. So if it was new friends coming in, and let's say this person's saying, oh, am I going to meet anybody? I'm feeling really restricted in my friendship circle. Am I going to meet anyone? And the Star card comes up and you get the Eight of Swords. How would you read this for them? Well, the Star card is showing there's a community there and there's friendships. But the Eight of Swords, and I said it came up in the first two cards, so that's now, would be saying that there's a restriction in communication with those friendship circles or with that community. So you see, it's the minor card that's telling you whether is it a good thing, is it a bad thing if you carry on in the current track. So 414 arms, if somebody says, oh, you know what, am I going to make some new friends? And, with the potential maybe of actually it growing into a romance, and this came up, you'd say, there are friendships there. Why? The Star card's there. The community's there, the friendship circles are there. That's what Aquarius is. It's all about the collective, the people, the politics, okay? And the Eight of Swords is telling you how our current, the person having the reading, is getting on with that subject, the community, the friendships, the politics. They're getting in their own way. Eight of Swords, causing problems for themselves by restricting themselves. So maybe you've got nothing to say to people. You're totally restricted. You're probably saying, I'm quite shy. I'm not the world's. Sorry, I'm throwing my cushion down there. I'm not the. Does that make sense to you? Yeah. So the major card, what are you looking for? If you're looking for love, look in your major card. Star card is friendship, Lover's card is potential romance, but don't always mix up the Lover's card with just romance, because it's attraction, and sometimes attraction can be platonic, intellectual. Many years ago, sorry, I'm going to grab a glass of water. I told you it's very hot, so I mustn't dehydrate. Whew, excuse me. So many, I've lost my train of thought now, I'm having a drink. Sorry. Many times people will sort of ask about romance. The Lover's card is not just about lovers. I was saying, sorry, I've remembered now. Many years ago when I was teaching people to drive, as in I'm still doing this, but only part-time. My main profession was driving instructor, and I did this still as a profession, but only at the Mondays and Fridays, actually, not the weekends, because it was very busy with the driving at the weekends. So I used to be young people, and they go, oh, I'm in the skateboarding crew, I'm in the smoking behind the bike sheds crew, I'm in the science crew, I'm in the pure maths crew. And what they meant is there was groups and communities in sixth form at school where they called them crews, they were just people they associated with for that common thing. A bit like people go, oh, I hang out with the cricket team, or I hang out with the dance team, or I hang out with, the people that are doing karaoke, or something that connects you in some way with that friendship. But it might be that outside of that, you're not friends. It just works on that level. So what's going on with the Eight of Swords is our person is restricted in their communication with others. They are restricted in what they're hearing from others, and their own thought and pattern is going round and round. But the card on the left is telling you where it's happening. So it's not going to change on the right side, but it's going to tell you where it's happening. Does that make sense? I think I'm getting it. Crystal Pickett, you said you wanted to ask a question. Please feel free. If you were confused and you thought I was giving readings, I'm not. But you could ask a question and we could answer that question if our tarot tuition viewers want, or experts, we're all at different stages. Please don't be offended by me saying that. It is a tutorial, so we're whatever stage we're at, we're all learning. And I learn even when I'm giving readings, by the people that I come across, or by a situation, or the fact that I'm always watching others and what they're doing in books, videos, even by going always on courses, always doing something. I don't mean every year, I just mean I tend to decide that it's the right time to do something. And courses are brilliant and they guide you, and you can do that. So friendship. So I want to show you the keywords. Okay, so I put it on the screen for you in our PDF, the Hermit, and the Hermit is a card of the past. So let's say our first two cards out in the actual spread or the reading are to do with somebody who's saying, can you give me a general reading? We've only got these two cards to go on, so let's look at it and go, right, straight away, you can see this person is restricted mentally. And sometimes it's not because, it is because they're refusing, but there's usually a reason for that. It's not, there's usually a reason. So they are not restricting themselves just because they're difficult people. They may be shy, but that shyness can be misinterpreted for aloofness, can't it? So the Hermit's a card of wisdom. It's connected with Virgo, and it's a card of the past. So if this came out straight away, there's three things for you there. Is this something to do with the Virgo? I might say yes or no. Is this something to do with work? Yes or no. Is this somebody to do with the past? They'll say yes or no. Oh. Indeed it can be. Indeed it can be. It can be a past life. And I'll tell you where that comes in, Mortelli, and how you would know for absolute certain. It would come in, if this came up in my spread, and I'm going to show you that in a moment, okay? Just a PDF of how many cards are out, all right? Just because I've done loads of videos 3 or 4 years ago to show people before I started teaching this, how you could read like that. But I am aware there's about 300 videos now on my channel. So you could say, is this about a Virgo? And I might say, yes, it's my partner, it's my boss, it's me. Or, as I said, is this something from the past? Yes. Or is this a problem from the past? Yes or no? All right. And the other thing, of course, is look at the Hermit. What do you see? There's nobody there. They're on their own. Anybody? Go on, have a guess. They're restricted because our person having the reading is... Anybody? Go on, have a go. The Hermit. No one else there. What does the Hermit actually make you think of, as in the word or the picture? Sometimes it's so obvious we miss it. Okay. It is, they could be very alone. Or they could be, you can be alone and not be lonely. Yes, being alone. Absolutely, I'm sorry, I didn't wait long enough. I love how you're responding, I'll tell you. Love it, absolutely love it. And the Hermit is also associated with the career of counsellors, people, professional counsellors, or somebody that does counsel us because they've got a lot of earthy wisdom and they've walked the boards in many different ways and they've got a lot of wisdom and experience. So there's a few things there, but only a couple of cards. It's quite hard. And when somebody's going, go on, give me a general, you know, I do it. I wouldn't argue with anybody, but I just think I'm going to be going through the spread and I don't know. I'll be giving them everything I've got and I'll be going right around the spread and I'll be looking at most important bits, what's crossing them, what the foundations of the reading are, what's coming, what's happening now. Where do you start? You know, I normally sort of just look at it as best I can. And yeah, you start covering it, but I think that people think that you are a mind reader, and we're not. Thank goodness, I wouldn't want that. But quite honestly, it can be very difficult when somebody is not asking you a direct question. You can insist upon it, of course. I don't, because I know that it's okay, here we go, and we go for it. And then we get there, and obviously you hit gold, as it were, and they go, oh, yes, that's exactly what I wanted to know. Really what they're saying is I was testing you, which is a bit silly when they're paying by the minute. Whatever. I know that people do, and I know that people are kind of like, oh, I just wanted to see if you could get it. Perhaps, you know, they've just not had great experiences with other people, but they learn to be able to actually, most of them do anyway, to be able to turn around and say to you, this is what I want to know. And therefore, you can cut to the chase, and then they go, is there any other spiritual advice? Well, if somebody was asking, have you got any spiritual advice for me? The Hermit, you know, you need some solitude. You really need to sort out your thinking. You need to actually look at maybe how people are perceiving you, and particularly, you know, that you'd rather be in your own company and that you're not contributing in communication. Communication, swords. Yeah, can be seen like that. Right, okay, I'm going to show you a couple of things now, so I'm going to go straight into that. Back in a minute with some more examples. Okay, so this is my website, and so the courses are up there. You can see on the left, you've got the home button, and then you've got the courses. So if you were to pick, they're all mini courses, all right, and I've just shown you on the screen rather than show you them all. I've shown you them all in the past. This is the intermediate. This is how you start. It's part 1, all right. Part 2 is the advanced, and here you've got it, and it's on my website. No one else can get it. You're not going to get it anywhere else. It's geared up for people that want to actually develop and go as far as they possibly can with a course to take them to professional level. And I know what's needed. I used to run a platform, and of course I was the one that me and my husband were always the people that were giving test readings to see if they were going to be able to give what somebody would want to pay for, and whether it was interesting or whether they were able to give that time and to do a nice reading, a good reading, or to be able to answer the questions. There's a lot of things you're looking for. And we weren't mean. We would really give them time. We'd say, do you want to think about it? Do you want to come back? Do you want me to ask you a question? Okay, that wasn't so great. Should we start again? Without your cheat sheets, let's try that again. Or, you need to practice and come back when you want, next week, next month, brush up on it. So we weren't like, no, we're not, no. But we knew that if you actually go with your heart and feel sorry for that person and they're not quite right, it wasn't going to be good for them, it wasn't going to be good for our company, but most of all, it wasn't going to be good for the people having the readings. Okay? This is what I want to show you. So this is what my spread looks like, and this is what I'll teach you to be able to do. So you can really see, yeah, I do. It's PayPal. You just go onto PayPal and do it. As in, we've set it up so it works for anybody. All right, and yes, you can pay with PayPal. So you end up doing, and this is the advanced, but that's what you're going to get to be reading, and every reading. And believe me, I really do have people that I allow them to have 10 minutes, 15 minutes reading at the moment. You're welcome. You're very welcome. So yes, everybody, there's PayPal option on there. And this is what I use, and this is where you'll end up going if that's what you want. Look, even if you don't actually end up doing, I don't want a mini-me, but this is a terrific system. And if you look at the amount of cards, and you can see there's a lot there. There's 44. So there's 22 different positions that I give. So that means that for every position, 2 cards are going down. Look there, and it starts where you can see the Strength card and the Ace of Wands, and that's the now position. The one underneath is the Wheel of Fortune and the Four of Swords, and that's what's crossing them. The Judgment card and the Three of Pentacles is the foundation of the reading, and so on. And so it works right through, and every position tells you something. When I've been talking to you and saying, in the past, if it's about work, okay, it's the 6th house. Well, somewhere in there, I'm not going to tell you which at the moment, but it is the 6th house. Now, what I am going to discuss is, I'm going to say, Mort Ali asked, I'm going to go back to this. Can the past be a past life? Yes. And so cards of the past are on the left there, as in of the Star card and the 7 of Swords. That's the past. Now, in answer to your question, I wouldn't be looking at that position. I would go to the 12th house, and the 12th house would tell me karma. Yeah? What's gone on in a past life. And so that is where I'd be looking. And that's in the spread that you're looking at on the screen. And yes, the past can be a past life. So the intermediate that I showed you is part 1. This is the advanced spread. And this is where you can get to be. Now, let's go to, I'm going to show you this. Right, So, I hope you can still hear me. Can somebody give me a thumbs up and let me know that my microphone is coming over this? I put this PDF out. I've put a podcast, a playlist, so call it podcast, for you on my YouTube channel. So that went up last week. So that's all about Tuesday's tarot twist. So everything I've done, I've got a couple more to do. That's what it looks like. All right, I can't put it in order at the moment because I'm still editing some videos. It's the recordings of what we've done, but there's no point me keeping in our conversations and chit chat. When it's a recording, we want to keep it to the point so that you can get through the lesson and do what you need to do. It would be I don't want to do a live where I just do that. I love talking to you all. So there's two different things. So there you go. You've got your podcast, and you'll find that on my YouTube channel. There it is, Tarot with Amber. That's my YouTube channel. All right. And yeah, that's what it looks like. I said 300 videos. I've just looked at that. 756 videos. Crikey. I didn't realise I'd done that many. Just shows you. Anyway, I'm never looking behind me on what I've done and what I've achieved. I'm more a case of, I forgot about that because I want to do this next. Right, so on the screen for you, we keep the Eight of Swords. Again, we're keeping to a general question. And I want a general reading. Can you look at it for me? And our first two cards now are the Tower and the Eight of Swords. So, Eight of Swords, they've got mental restrictions. Don't read something into what I just said there. They're restricted mentally is what I should have said. So they're restricted mentally. Something is restricting their thought process, their communication. Why? It's in the card on the left, the Major Arcana. Ever unsettled. That's what the Tower means. It's unsettling. Everything's just changed. So no wonder they're actually needing a reading. Everything's so unsettled. They don't know what to think. They don't know what to say. They don't know who to trust in their communication from other people. So simple as that. The other thing you could say, of course, is the Tower is associated with its ruling planet, Mars. So Mars is, just like you see there, fiery, fast. So what's happened, just like a bolt of lightning has hit a building, boom, that's it, all change. So this person's dealing with a lot out of the blue, sudden happenstances, causing them to actually feel still in a place of being all bound up mentally. And I would say things have happened and it's upset the apple cart in their thoughts. They don't know what to think. But remember what I'm saying. When you're looking at your suits, there has been a build-up to get to where this is. And the great example that I talked about this, I don't want to say every week, but I really covered that on the Six of Swords tuition. So the recent one that I did on the Six of Swords, go and look at the Thursday one where I talk about the Six of Swords just on its own, and then go and look at Tarot Twists on Tuesday to look at how it's combining that. And what I talked about is it's all about this happens, then that happens. Ace of Swords, spark of inspiration. And all of a sudden, we've got the Two of Swords. I'm indecisive on this new thing of mine. Now I don't know whether to do that or that. And that's Two of Swords. So then Three of Swords, heartbreak, because we didn't actually take control. We didn't actually deal with that. You might not go to the Three of Swords. You might actually get the reward for taking off the blindfold on the Two of Swords. Do you see where I'm going with this? Can you see what I'm saying to you? Is that making sense? If you do what the impartial advice is from your cards. You don't go directly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, like Ace of Swords, 2 of Swords, 3 of Swords, 4 of Swords. The 6 of Swords usually comes about because, as I mentioned in that tutorial, all the journey of getting started, the indecisiveness, the heartbreak, the kind of needing to decompress, the not coping, that's in the 5 of Swords, with groups of people, where there's conflict, where it's disturbing. And 6 of Swords, we have someone else come in and help us out. You know, the ferryman takes us across the water. Now, our life doesn't go in a storyboard like that. But if we don't pay attention, it does. Because the energy builds, 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 builds. So that's why if you have a tarot reading, it's not really a prediction, it's just looking at what are the background effects and what's the likelihood of what's going to happen based on the current circumstances and the background effects involved. Yeah? Hopefully. I know we could talk and go on, and when you ask questions, I think it gives more clarity for the viewers and helps me know what you would like or do more of or less of, whichever. Okay, so that's the Tower. Right, so let's what will this one be? So now we have this in the now position, in a general reading, and so can you see what I mean? If you looked at that big old spread of mine, you would be able to see what's happening in the past, what's coming, what's their spiritual advice, what the houses mean, what's going. The houses, if you know, that's what you will get in the advanced. All right, so go with the intermediate. Once you get going with that, you know, people say how long? Whenever you want. You could buy both together if you want to, but you need to do the intermediate to be able to kind of go, right, this is the system, this is what I'm laying out, get used to laying that out. But there's nothing stopping you going, I'm really curious, I want to put them all out, and I've got the gist of this bit, got it. I can't do it, but I've got it, and I'm going to start. So then it's just practice, 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 and come and ask here, people that are already using this system, people that actually, you know, what it has done is it's helped readers that were about to give up because they were saying, I don't know if it means this, what would you say if it's that, you know, usual. How can money in a pentacle come up in a romance reading? Jolly well glad it does, because it doesn't just mean money. It means a lot of things. But really, Pentacle family, when we get there, it's about the fact that this is a product ready to go. Whether it's a good one or a bad one, or we're messing it up or whatever, it's something tangible. So that's what it means. And so symbolic pentacle just means it's all of the elements combined. The thought process, the emotional, you know, we think it, then we've got to have a reason to move beyond a thought. We've got to be moved in some way emotionally. No, I do not want to. Or absolutely, I'm going to do it. Or, don't know. That's an emotion. From that emotion, you either will or you won't, which goes into fire, which is the one's action. And then, once you've had a spark of thought, you know how you feel about it, and off you went to do it, you'll end up with something, won't you? And then we've got to look at the stage of the journey of how you're coping with that something. You know, let's say you wanted to make a meal. You made a meal and it's like, okay, is that a good meal? You know, or was it something that we've got to try a bit harder and get the recipe right? And that's what we're looking at from 1 to 10. And then we're looking at the aspects in the court cards of you and other people that may be in your life that come into the reading. Okay, so it makes it really, you could dig, which I love, you know. And some people go, oh, I like it really simple. There's plenty of that around. You can get that anywhere, can't you? You can make it simple, but knowing you're making it simple is one thing, but knowing you're going to keep climbing that mountain because you want to make it simple, but you want to know more. That's what I'm saying. All right, you know, whichever you want. So, I want to. Oh gosh, I'm going to show you this because I think it's important. So, you know that I do lessons on Thursday about one card. So our next card, if we're doing the Eight of Swords at the moment, it's going to be the Nine of Swords on Thursday, the 6th of June. So you've also got a complete podcast on just the cards. So Tuesdays, I pick one card and we fuse it with other cards and we show you how to pair. And so the podcast Learn Tarot is the tutorial about the weekly meanings of that one card alone and what you might want to know about it. And no one's saying you've got to know it all or know all of that, but you are getting as much as I can give you in that time that applies to that card. And that's what I'm saying to you. So that's where you can watch the tutorial regarding the one card. So that's that. Sorry, but I've got this as well. I put this on for you if you want. We are able to offer pet astrology, and you know that you can have a natal chart done for your canine, or you know, your feline, or your fish, or your bird, whatever it happens to be. There's some articles on my website all about how I'm interested in that, and that's where my astrology has gone into. So you can find out, you know, if you've rescued a pet, or you're just curious that they're from a litter. And so this is my two. There's Jack and there's Jill, and I just put a blog on there. They're both Pisces, which is a symbol for Pisces there, besides Jack. And they're so different. They are very loving, but they're very, very different. Only minutes apart. So if you want to read that blog about how, if we look at ourselves or our pets or our loved ones, whatever it is, you know that I've got a free natal chart in there for you guys to look up you or find out about you. What makes you tick? What's your sun like? What's your moon like? What's your ascendant? They're the three biggies. You know, how do you communicate? Or do you have restrictions in that area, and why? That natal chart will help you with that. But I can actually give you a pet report because although I'm studying, I am quite comfortable with the pets, as in because it's a much shorter report. So they're very different. There's a blog on my website all about the Astro twins and being born minutes apart, even though they're twins from the same litter. Why are they so different? I also have an article coming up, a blog. If you really don't know their star sign, and I don't, I've rescued mine. And I've not been a do-gooder. I've gone out there and seen an animal that's just been left in a terrible, I won't accept you by saying the kind of things that were wrong with them. Not cruelty, but just lying there. You know, I've had a three-legged dog, I've had a one-eyed white husky, just turfed out, just left, nobody caring for them. Somebody's got to take them to the vet. So when you take them to the vet and they've had their treatment that I've given them, me and my husband, then what? Oh, we'll put them in the shelter, we'll put them in. They've just had major surgery. So of course, try and find an adoptive home for them while they come and live with us, you know. I never went anywhere. Thank you. I never went anywhere. In fairness, Jack and Jill were not rescued. My others were. All right, we've had 35 in the last 15 years. Jack and Jill, I've always been fond of Shih Tzus. Thank you so much. You're welcome. So yeah, if you want to report on your pets, but my point was, if you don't know their astrological star sign, I knew Jack and Jill because my neighbours, you know, said, hey, here they are, 9th of March, and, you know, Sheila, their mum, is in labour, and so your little pooches are going to be here. And so they were. I will actually try and show you some. Hi, Katrina. Hi, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. Look, I'm just going to remind you guys to subscribe. Why? Because then you'll be able to find us. I don't need the subscription. Well, I do, but, you know, I don't need them. It doesn't do me any benefit, believe me. But how are you going to find, you know, you go, oh, what was that again? If you're subscribed and you press the notification, if you're interested in this subject, you can watch it when you've got time, or you can go back and watch the tutorials. And we just saw there's 700 videos on my channel of this, that, and the other. This was one I rescued at the same time as Jack and Jill. This is Minnie, and she's a Taurian. Now, she's a rescue dog. She was approximately 8 weeks old when we took her to the vet. You know how they look at their teeth, and they can pretty much tell at the stage, tiny little sort of cocktail stick teeth are as to how old they are. And that meant that she could have been between been Aries and Taurus, because he said she's approximately 8 weeks, 9 weeks. So that went between the two. Minnie's not Aries. Minnie is definitely a Taurian. She has Taurian traits, so you will know. And I feel, you know, you are able to actually give them, you'll know, just pick what you think is their birthday in that time. So I picked Minnie's birthday as May the 15th. That seems to sit with her. And you probably find you're right. Okay, Katrina, not quite sure I understand that, but thank you. All right. So, you see my point. You can hazard a guess, as to what they are. Go with what you feel, because you're probably the closest person to them, your little companion. So even if you've rescued and go, I couldn't possibly get a pet report, I don't know when they are. What do you feel they are? I did Minnie's, totally accurate. I did Ben's, Minnie, by the way. Why did I end up with Minnie when I got Jack and Jill in the same 2 weeks? I was going to say fortnight, and then I realised Americans don't know what we're talking about, because they don't use that term. They say in 2 weeks or bi-weekly. So yeah, 2 weeks difference roughly from acquiring Jack and Jill when they were 8, 9 weeks old, and Minnie came along 2 weeks later, and we said, yeah, we'll take her. Somebody had thrown her in the canal, and her family had pulled her out. She was obviously a puppy that nobody wanted, and that's what they'd done, thrown her away like rubbish. And this family said, this is our holiday home, and we go back to an apartment where we're not allowed pets. At the moment, this holiday home that we're renting, we've rescued her. Can anybody take her? And so we took on 3 puppies, all at the same time as having 7, 8 more, total of 11. Ah. Katrina, I'm not following what you're saying. I'm not sure. Okay, so I'm not going to pop it up when I don't understand the comments. Sorry about that. So, pet astrology. Yeah. Katrina's talking about sort of the buzzwords that people use and the kind of things they say, each to their own. I've never been a fan of the expressions that are used in the industry because it feels as if it's a script or it's something that's expected. I'm not sure what your point is. I understand, but I'm not sure what your point is, Katrina. I don't know if you're actually kind of saying it's good. Beware of all sorts of different people. Yeah. So the point is, if you want pet astrology, I can offer you that. I can't give you an astrological report because I am not at that stage yet. I'm still training. But I use astrology very, very much in my courses and in my readings and in our tutorials. So I think that's everything I was going to show you. So we will be continuing on Thursday, the 6th of June at 5 o'clock, when we will be doing the 9 of Swords. So that's for anybody that's new. We won't be doing what we've been doing tonight, showing you how to actually fuse cards together. It will be all I can give you that I have researched, that I know, and what I teach about that card. Nothing to do with the courses. Courses are entirely different. It's systems, and it goes into great detail about court cards and all the rest of it. It's taking... We won't be finished this series until May, I think, and that's providing I don't have to take a break for anything. And I always try and come live so that you get the chance to actually ask. Occasionally it's recorded, as you know, but yeah, whatever I can, that's what I'm doing. Lots going on. Oh, hi, you've got some new people. Thank you so much for saying hello. Katrina, I'm just going to ask you, are you saying you approve of what I'm doing or not? That's why I'm kind of not sure what your point was. You said you'd just woken up. Yeah, I can understand that. And that's kind of why I try and come in. CA, and they charge pet rent now. Oh, right. Okay. No, nothing to do with that. Just if you want a report on your good one. Ah, I love all fur babies too. And you know what? It's wonderful when we can do what we're doing. But my point really was that if you want to find out about your pet and you're not actually sure about their star sign, you can always kind of say, Chihuahua, and I didn't know. Oh, how wonderful. You see, and I'm hoping that there's a community of people as well that actually love their animals and want to know a bit more. You know what I'm saying? We don't know what they're thinking or what's happened to them, do we? And a natal report can actually help you maybe find out what they're trying to tell you. And it won't be the awful scenario, but just what they need from you. Perhaps what makes them fearful. That's why I was hesitating. I wasn't quite sure whether you were kind of going, oh, we're all fluff and nonsense. And it's like, I'm not, I'm not one of that. Definitely not. I'm not for everybody. Definitely not. But, I believe in what works. I know what works. I know what people will pay for. 15 years running a psychic tarot platform, as in with all the customers 24/7 and 250 psychics working with us. Yep. uh, it gives you good insight as to how I can help you. And why? Because I love it and I want to share. And I wondered if there's people that love their cats and dogs and their birds and their fish and their reptiles and all the rest of it. Your kitty is your lower self. That. There you go, you see. There are so much, and, past lives, as in with animals too, yeah? Jack and Jill probably sort of had past lives because they're Pisces, 12th house, karma, Once there is a school of thought that when we get to Pisces, that we've been through all the actual reincarnation. We start at Aries on the zodiac, you see. So there's a school of thought on that. Not mine. I cannot claim to that. Yeah. You see what I mean, and that's why I'm not here. I'm not here to say what happened, but I didn't set out. I think people think we're weird. We've got 11 dogs. I can't bring cats in as well. Huskies, cats, no. And I started off with huskies. My biggest dog that I rescued after Jack, Jill and Minnie is Ben. And we'll get a photo of Ben. My husband will get one ready for you. And Ben's 65 kilos. He's an amazing boy. But he was walking the streets with a dislocated hip really badly. And coming along with us in the morning, dog walkers were not throwing him, that's wrong. They were giving him a loaf of bread, as in sort of fish-shaped. And it's like, he's a pup, he's got a problem, and I know that you can't, he's not ours, but a loaf of bread is not going to help him. That's not nutritionally going to help his condition. So we took him through, and yeah, that one we actually raised money from our community, the only one that we did. And same thing happened. It's like we'd got too many, and it wasn't easy to integrate them all together. We didn't want to, but where was he going to go? Can't. After the surgery he had, and he was so skinny. You see, this is what I was hoping for. We've got people following us that love animals. And so if we can find out, that's what I mean. It's what we're interested in. So I've just been authentic. It's who I am. And I'm sorry if it doesn't do everything that you expected it to do. But I talk about the things that I care about very deeply. And I care about my animals. I care about my family. I care about my work very much. And I'm very lucky. And I care about this. And I've put a lot of research into it so that I don't lead you astray. Yes. Oh, Katrina, you're going to have to come on and talk to us a little bit. You can see the love in their eyes. Yes, you can. Husky's very talkative. I've had 5, very talkative. They're very vocal. Had a friend growing up whose father, a friend of theirs, bred wolves in the Washington state. You can tell them by the way. Wow. Oh. Yep. I rescued from the animal sanctuary Teddy. He was Taurus Teddy. I just knew he was a Taurian. Went to get him. Foxy. She had had 6, 7 owners, and she was barking because she was communicating with everybody, and so nobody could cope with her. So she was our first. Yep. Food's so important. We fortify their food with lots of different things. Sorry, I know it's going on to animals. I hope everyone's okay with that. Is everyone okay with that? We seem to have a lot of people kind of coming in. Very grateful for that. Come and say hi. Yes, we are talking tarot, but we're also talking about the things that are nuanced with that, and that is very much about astrology. And astrology, as I said, I'm studying to be an astrologer, even though I've done astrology, And I've got to that point where I can give you a pet report. Why? Because my rescue dogs, I want to know what makes them tick and why, and that's why I'm writing my blogs on it. Everything I do it because it means something to me, and I cannot do the things that will be what the algorithm everyone wants. Didn't work for me. You know about horses, cows, chicken, chipmunks. Oh, how divine. Oh, how divine. You know, where I live, there's bats outside, there's snakes, we saw a scorpion last week. We see them a lot out of his lunch. Wow. He had chipmunks and he fed out of his lunchbox. I just didn't like it. Cut those. How could you? How could you do that? Yeah? How could you cut their tails off? Ah. Barbaric. My darlings, thank you so much for tonight. If there is anything you want to ask me, quite happy. I'm going to have to check my... Sorry. Got 3 messages, so it's probably work. Yep. I've got to go. I've got emergency readings coming in. I knew that I'd probably have sort of... yeah. Certain state don't allow it. Yep. I can understand that. Absolutely. So, you like tarot as well, Katrina? Astrology and animals. All the things that we're kind of interested in. And you often hear my dogs barking. I'm going to go because the dogs have been... Go on then. What do you want to ask? I am going to be going in a moment. I've got a client and my dogs need to be able to go for a walk, and we can't take them for a walk because they'll stop barking, and that's fine, but you won't be able to hear and it's not good. This is the tutorial about tarot, sweetie. Sorry. It is not about me giving readings. I'm demonstrating how to read the cards. All right. So thank you very much for your question. But I'm not going to be answering it because I'm not doing readings like that. Okay. Yep. Thank you very much, Katrina. I'm sorry about you. I thought you wanted to ask a question on how to read the cards. So it's a tutorial for people that want to read. So I'm sorry about that. Okay, Sarge girl. Sorry. All right. Thursday, same time, 5 p.m. UK time. And we'll be going through the main card. And then Tuesdays, we will be, when we've done 9 of Swords on Thursday, we'll be showing you how it can mean many different things. Thank you very much for your understanding. Okay, thank you for that. You can look at some previous videos that I did for readings. I know it's not going to help you, but yeah, I do read, but not on here. Right, I've got to go. I've got emergency readings coming in. What that means is I've finished my day, but somebody is desperate for a reading and they are prepared to actually know that they are going to be, I'm putting myself right out as in, and therefore they have been charged for the privilege of that. So I'm just going to either say if we can arrange a time today for when we can do that. All right. So that's what an emergency reading means. It means it's not within my normal time. So I'm going to go. They deserve an answer, yes or no, as to whether I can arrange that. And yeah, I'm normally here an hour. I've been here nearly an hour and a half. Okay. All right. You've had... Wow. That's pretty impressive. We tried to keep fish, and it's not that easy. But if you are good to them and kind to them, yeah, We had them for about 3 or 4 years, and up to 10 years. Katrina, absolutely brilliant to meet you. Sag Girl, brilliant to meet you too. And thank you so much for all your questions tonight. You've been amazing. See you soon. Bye, everybody. I'm going to play you out.